Hello again. Thank you so much for watching. Today, we are going to be discussing the term YSP, what that means for you as a commercial loan broker and how it pertains to you. Before we get started, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. It helps us a lot in those YouTube algorithms. And also, if you haven't checked it out, check out our Patreon. We include every single one of these PowerPoints within the Patreon so you can access those. And on top of that, a lot of exclusive content that helps most of our commercial loan brokers do what they do. Now let's jump right into it. If you've ever heard the term YSP, what that means is yield spread premium. Now, yield spread, rebate, back end, and YSP, these are all synonymous terms. So if you ever hear the term rebate, they're talking about yield spread. If you ever hear the term back end origination, they're talking about yield spread. So just for your information, moving forward, if I ever mention rebate or if I mention back end origination, we're talking about the YSP. Also, so we'll just jump into the actual definition of YSP. So in essence, it's the points that are paid to a broker by upselling the interest rate on a loan. So really, it's just those points that a broker would typically get paid out, their origination points, but they're built into the interest rate. So they're not really visible to the borrower as a closing cost. They're more of a lender paid fee instead of a borrower paid fee, except the borrower does pay for them in the end through the interest rate, but the borrower doesn't typically know that, which is one of the big benefits. And we'll get into that later. Now, yield spread used to be very common in the residential space, not so much anymore. Nowadays, it's more focused in the commercial real estate space. Now, let's just jump into a yield spread example, just to keep it simple so you guys know what we're talking about here. So let's just say the lender is offering a $500,000 loan to a borrower, and the par interest rate is 6.49%. Now, to every yield spread example, or to every lender that offers yield spread, they're going to give you a yield spread offering. And let's just say your lender's yield spread offering looks like this. The lender is offering a 0.5% rate increase for every 1 point origination paid to the broker. So basically what that means, if the broker increases the interest rate from 6.49, and let's say they bump it up to 6.99, that would get the broker 1 point origination paid out at closing. Now let's get into what the broker will actually present in this case. So it's the same thing. The loan amount will never change based on the yield spread, but it looks like the broker decides to increase the rate by a full percent. So basically what this means is the broker is going to get 2 points because they increased the rate by 1%. Just like we looked at here, we just explained, for every 0.5% the broker increases the rate, the broker gets a full point in return. So in here, they increased the rate by 1%, so they're getting 2% back, 2 points back at the origination. Now, the neat thing about yield spread is those origination points don't get paid by the borrower out of their pocket. So these are just built into the interest rate. So it lowers the total cost if let's just say the broker didn't do yield spread. And we'll get into that here in an example coming up here. Let's just jump into it right now. We might as well go to the next slide. So let's just say the broker did no yield spread. So it's the same offer. Lender offers $500,000. The par interest rate is 6.49%, and the yield spread offering is the same. Now the broker decides to present the exact same thing. So 6.49% interest rate. However, the broker's got to get paid somehow. So instead of charging it into the interest rate, the broker says, well, I need to get paid. This is my job. I need to make a living. I'm going to charge my 2 points at closing as front end origination points. And if you haven't seen our front end origination points video, you should definitely check it out. It's within our channel. So anyways, so in this case, the broker is charging points on the front end, and that's going to cost the borrower $10,000 in closing costs. That's going to come out of the borrower's pocket to close the loan. Now, the borrower might not actually have this $10,000. So it's very important as a broker to have the awareness of how much money the borrower has to put down, because you don't want to get to the closing table and the borrower gets there and say, hey, I can't pay for this, and the deal fall apart. It might be better for you as a broker to build those points in the interest rate so that the borrower can actually get the deal done. They may not be as happy about the interest rate. It's a sell. You're going to have to sell it, but you're doing it for their best interest. So just to kind of recap, let's just go over positives and negatives. It's very clear. One of the major positive here with yield spread is there's fewer closing costs out of pocket for borrower. Very clear, very easy. And the second big thing here is big positive is there's opportunity to earn more points. Because you're building points into the interest rate, you can also throw front-end origination points on there. Maybe before you would have charged 3 points on the front, but in this case, maybe you only bring it down to 2, but you're still getting your yield spread points. So it's just an extra way of earning money. Now the negatives, obviously, it's a higher interest rate. So it's a tougher sell to the borrower, depending on who you're talking to. And then also that yield spread may or may not show on the HUD. If it does show on the HUD, the settlement statement, then it will most likely show as a lender paid fee, which most borrowers don't care about. But if the borrower is sharp, they might notice the lender paid fee as a yield spread, and they might get kind of annoyed by that towards the closing. But typically borrowers don't balk at yields at points paid by the lender, excuse me. So anyways, I hope this helped you a lot. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out to us. You have our contact information in the channel. Again, subscribe, smash that notification bell, and like. And again, also, if you haven't seen our Patreon and you are a commercial loan broker, it's really helpful. It can take your business to the next level, a lot of exclusive content. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.